Good morning, fans, and welcome to episode number 34 of the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That's my son, Eric Leggett, in Sacramento, California. We'll bring you the best of the mid, the best of the west, and sometimes maybe not the best. Eric, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
It's not up to... Actually, you know what? This weekend, I think it's like the last hurrah of like incredible weather here in Sacramento. It's going to be like high of like 83, sunny, just gorgeous weather. And then after that, it'll be like, 100 degrees every day.
Please tell me you have something cool literally planned for the last couple of nice days.
I do.
Okay.
That
All
is what you've asked me to say.
Okay.
You asked.
Is it outdoors? Is it outdoors?
Do you want it to be?
It's 83. You should absolutely enjoy the nice weather while you got it.
Look, man, I don't have plans, but you asked me to tell you that I do, so I said that I do.
Can you do me a small favor? I will Venmo you the money if you walk and go get an ice cream this weekend.
I mean, you don't have to do that. There's this... I know this is a donut show, but I'm going to shout out a pizza joint here in Sacramento. Pizza Supreme Being. I live almost right next to. I say almost. Don't track me down. Don't find out where I live. But they, first of all, they make great fucking pizzas. They're a slice joint, which I love.
What are the odds of you living close to a pizza joint that's awesome? I mean, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to find a pizza joint that's like not awesome. Like, pizza's pretty great everywhere you go.
Okay.
But they're a slice joint and they do sourdough crust, which is incredible. And they do soft serve. So,
and they do
soft serve.
Oh, okay. All right.
So fucking anytime I want while it's all down there. Hey man, give me some soft
slice
serve
and a soft serve.
Slice,
I love it,
slice
man.
And soft serve.
Go do it this weekend. One more time.
Absolutely.
It'll feel less painful when it's 105 and you have to do that. When you're like, how can I Uber an soft serve ice cream to me?
Without it being soup by the time it gets to me.
Yeah. All right. So enjoy the weather indoors or out this weekend. We are here to talk donuts. It's been a little while. Almost a month, actually, from a regular show. We did have our little National Donut Day, which was much less than we normally do. Yeah. Old Town Donuts. Shout out.
Old Town Donuts.
The only 24-hour joint in St. Louis. So we got to get that turned around because that's just a little embarrassing, man.
You need more. You need more.
And so it's been a month, and we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. So we have not been able to do 52 shows. No. Life intervenes sometimes, and it's not for lack of desire or joy doing it, or eating more damn donuts, but vacations and not feeling well and work, all of it, kind of interferes sometimes. Yeah. So, but anyway, 34.
If this made the money for us, I bet we'd work a little harder to try to do one every single week. But until it gets to that point, this is the schedule you guys get.
I'm not sure how long we're laying the groundwork, but 1 year, we're on the tortoise path.
Yeah,
to superstardom.
Podcast, takes, I think, you need 3 good years of doing it before it starts becoming.
Wow. Possible. Okay, I did not know that. Who knew we'd still be doing it a year later? Am I right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I did not think we would make it this far.
But it's still a hoot, right?
Yeah.
And we're sharing knowledge with the people. We're sharing fun and knowledge, and so we got more new places today, right? We're still not having to circle back and do anybody, the second time or whatever. So if this is your first show, welcome. What we do here on this show, we attempt to buy the same 3 kinds of donuts. We will taste them, we'll size them, price them, let you know Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down, a scale of 1 to 5. And if you're a longtime viewer of the show, will you post something at the bottom so we know what donut places we need to go visit?
Yes. If you are a longtime viewer of the show, I feel like you're, at the very least, have a more than average interest in donuts. So I trust that you have a donut shop in mind that we haven't been to yet.
And kind of on that theme a little bit is my donut place today, but we'll get to that a little later. So we normally kick off our show with a little bit of donut news of the week. Certainly in the last month, there's been something exciting going on in this world.
Yes.
Involving donuts. What'd you find for us, Eric?
So this takes us to Phillips, Maine. And the title of this article is called Phillips Couple Creates Honor System Donut Stand.
What?
Yes. So drive down a road in Maine and you'll eventually spot a fresh produce stand. But if you're in Phillips, Maine, you may trade those fruits and veggies for some donuts. Clifford's Donut Shop in Phillips sells handmade donuts and baked goods from scratch Thursday through Saturday. Tiffany and Chris Otanga created the business after moving to Maine to be closer to family.
Is this not the ultimate school-age child's dream?
This is, yeah. No,
I
this is
trade
incredible.
my fruits and vegetables for donuts.
Yes. So, Tiffany says, we started with chocolate frosted original, which is like a vanilla glaze, and then a maple glaze. We started with those two flavors, and once we felt comfortable and confident, we started adding additional flavors. That's how you fucking do it. You start small, and you go, you know what? We've nailed these. Time to move on to bigger and better.
You perfect what you're doing, and then you branch out.
Yes.
That's the model.
She also says that it's awesome that we've had this business for a year, and watching it grow and watching people come back seasonally has been really fun too. Better yet, the roadside stand operates on the honor system. So they don't cost money. What you do, it's just a stand. It's just a stand. There's no one there. Nothing. It's just a stand that's got donuts and pastries and other baked goods on it. And you go up and you go, well, I'd like these 2 donuts, and in exchange, I'll give you a dozen eggs. And you leave the dozen eggs there, and you take the donuts.
Man, that's...
Although in this day and age, maybe a dozen eggs gets you more than a couple donuts. But...
yeah, it might. Wow, that's such an incredible idea. The only thing, I mean, obviously farmers markets on weekends, but that's cash. The only thing I can think of barter system in our America today is they have library books where you can go and
the little free libraries,
Yes, take what you want, put the books back that you have from your own house or that you've read or whatever for the next person. That's straight up the barter system. Give 3 books, take 2 books, however it works out. That's what this is, but on a freaking grand scale, man. Mm-hmm. Now you've put donuts on a barter system.
Yes, they do also accept orders. So if you are looking to, if you want for sure like a dozen donuts, you can place an order with them. So, it does work business like that. But yeah, primarily they are just a stand on the side of the road, and you trade your stuff for some donuts. That's pretty incredible.
Well, if we ever make it to Maine, we are going to seek this out, and this will be one of the top 3 must-dos in Maine.
Absolutely.
And if you're watching this and you're in Maine, go check it out and let us know what it's all about. Take a picture.
Please.
Something. Wow, that's a great idea. That's yeah. Those are the outstanding news stories that we need to hear about donuts. All right. So my portion that we've been covering for a while is we have been covering the cities from the NHL teams in the playoffs. And they've been dropping. And at this point now, you obviously know, Panthers have won their second of back-to-back cups, beating the Edmonton Oilers. So today we're going to go north of the border and check out donuts in Edmonton. Through my advanced AI system brain, where I cull all of these different factoids into some clear GP chat styled review. Not at all. But if you go to Edmonton, go to the donut party. There's 3 in Edmonton, 2 in Calgary. It was started in 2017 at a farmer's market. It went so well, they started opening up brick and mortar joints, and I thought it was a little ballsy if you started in Edmonton and now you're going to open some joints in Calgary. 2 very hated rivals, but
Yeah.
I know we're from Edmonton, but you'll still love us, right, Calgary?
I mean, if you just don't allude to that you're from Edmonton.
Well,
Like, oh, what? You're donut shop.
here's how it doesn't work that way. So here are some of the flavors. Donut Party. For a dozen donuts, it's $45 Canadian, which is about $33 US. So, about $275 a donut.
Yeah, not
Here
insane. But
they currently have 18 flavors of donuts, including the traditional ones. They have an Alberta Rose Fritter, rhubarb, apple, cardamom, rosewater.
ooh,
It's a frou-frou. It's a
Yeah.
frou-frou joint, okay? They have the Bernadette, lavender, rosemary, chocolate, and sea salt.
oh, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome.
A feather boa, raspberry, hibiscus, and then coconut, which ruins it. But I love that they're trying. They do not call their donuts Long Johns. They call them Long Janes. So their Daddy Cool Long Jane is chocolate and peppermint. How have I never heard of that donut combo before? And
Yeah,
Andy's Mint is remarkable. How
Yeah.
has nobody
A
done
York
peppermint?
patty? Is,
Yes!
How is, yeah, why is
How have we
chocolate?
never come across chocolate and peppermint on a donut?
I have
That's
no
crazy.
idea. Yeah, that's crazy.
They have the Hot Mama, Long Jane, strawberries, wasabi, and black sesame seeds.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know either, but man, I love the swing.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is their nod. They have the lemon dry sidle
Ah,
and the Connor McDonut. Here's the most interesting part. Those are 2 that they also sell in Calgary. So
I can't imagine those are high sellers.
I was waiting to see a couple of Flames players donuts. But
Yeah.
nope, they're staying true to their Edmonton roots, man. So you got to go in and eat a Connor McDonut. Anyway, so that is Donut Party in Edmonton. The next very highly rated joint, Destination Donuts, also started in 2017 by a dad and daughter. Love the mom and pop, the family aspect of it. The dad is a Red Seal baker. What is that, you might ask? And I will answer it for you right now before you can say it out loud.
Thank you.
A Red Seal baker is a certified professional baker that meets national standards, which means they can work anywhere in Canada, and it's a 3-year baker program. So
it's like a trade worker.
Absolutely, unequivocally a trade worker. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
I
incredibly
love it.
cool, actually.
Yes. And so they currently have 33 flavors at Destination Donuts. They have 2 different cheesecake flavors. They have matcha. They have ube.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They have a mango explosion. They do the creme brulee where they crisp the crust for you at the time of the order. They have a glazed rhubarb fritter. So my first question is, rhubarb must be pretty damn big in Edmonton.
Yeah.
to be a featured item in the donuts. Dozen donuts, $45.60, which works out to about $34 US. They do candy bar flavors out the wazoo, and destination donuts. And finally, our last bakery in Edmonton, it's called Kalmar Bakery. Kalmar is a smaller town just outside of Edmonton. $18.50 a dozen, which works out to $14 US a dozen. The flavors include, here are their icings and flavors: strawberry, blueberry, orange. Have you had an orange donut? Have you had an orange cake or an orange iced donut?
No.
It seems to make a lot of damn sense.
God, yeah, like an orange icing on a vanilla cake donut?
Yes.
That's incredible.
They're filled donuts. They call them Bismarcks, which is actually an old-timey name from Europe. Bismarcks is a common name for filled donuts in Europe. They do lemon, raspberry, blueberry, and cherry. A cherry-filled donut sounds great.
Oh, yeah. Like a cherry-filled donut with, like, vanilla icing on top.
And they also
chocolate icing? Ooh.
They do a Black Forest donut, which is the cherry and chocolate.
Yeah.
They also have the Mega Donut for $9.50. It fits in the entire box. It's as large as a cake. Here's the side that I like about it. They do crullers. Their apple fritters are massive. They make strudels. They make focaccia. So they have some baking skills to go along with being able to put out some fancy-ass donuts. Mm-hmm. Here is the cleanest review that I read about the Kalmar Bakery in Edmonton. They don't rely on toppings to taste great because the dough is excellent with no topping. I'm like, you know what? If your donut tastes great without you having to frou-frou it up, you're doing it right.
Absolutely.
So, 3 more shops. So if anybody goes to Edmonton, hit one of those places, let us know. If you're in Edmonton right now, let us know. Are those 3 right? Did we nail it? All right. So the next part of our show is the heartbeat of our show. It is tasting donuts. Always start with a glazed donut, Eric. How come?
Because if you cannot do a glazed donut right, there's really no sense in doing any other donuts.
And so my question to you, anecdotally, this being our 34th show, how many glazed donuts have we had that scored below 3? That is an average donut. That is an okay glazed donut.
Below a 3? I don't think we've had any.
We have not. So to me, the donut shops are making decent glazed donuts now.
Hard to mess up, but also hard to make a top tier one. That is the question. We've had a ton of glazed donuts between 3 and 4. When you start getting above 4, now you're getting into a seriously good glazed donut. Mm-hmm. So, where did you go today? Tell me about your glazed donut. So today, I went to Donuts and Coffee. If you are a longtime listener of the show, you're probably saying, Eric, you idiot, you rube, been here before. And I'll say,
anyone who's calling you a rube is 70 years old or older.
I respond to that saying, no, quiet, I haven't been here before. Because I want to say it was like our first episode we did. I went to a place called Donuts and Coffee, but it was spelled Coffeey. Today, I went to Donuts and Coffee, spelled Coffee, spelled correctly. This is 4709 Florin Road in Sacramento. Different donut shop. Spelled differently, different donut shop. The vibe in this place, I have to say, was incredible. Like, it was very working class dudes sitting around, having some donuts, shooting the shit before they got to go in and do their probably unbelievably difficult construction job. Like, immaculate vibe in here. So my glazed donut today. I texted you earlier about it because I was probably going to be a little late to the show because I had to wait for a fresh batch of glazed donuts.
There is no better late answer on the planet than I was waiting for fresh glazed donuts. If your boss is like, how come you're late? I was waiting for fresh glazed donuts. And he's like, I'm sorry I yelled at you.
Yes, exactly correct. So this glazed donut was incredible. In my head, I'm kind of going back and forth, like, is it fair, unfair to rate this higher because it was fresh? And I think it is fair because the fact that you can go in, I was there at 7:15. They opened at 5. The fact that I can go in there 2 hours past opening and still get a fresh glazed donut is pretty remarkable.
Bonus point.
100%.
You're not making donuts at 4 o'clock and calling it a day. At 4 a.m., like that's what you get. Mm-hmm. You're still making fresh donuts.
Pumping them
my
out.
God.
And yeah, no, this donut was incredible. Just completely melt in your mouth. Super fluffy dough. I will say not a whole lot of glaze got to the bottom. It was pretty well, like that whole bottom part of the donut really didn't have any glaze on it, which was pretty unfortunate. I thought the glaze was a really good sweetness. I think it played perfectly with the dough of the donut because the dough really didn't have anything going on for it. But really just the fact that I was able to get in there and get a warm, fresh glazed donut, and like my car now smells like glazed donuts because it was sitting in there for my 20-minute drive back home. Like, that should be a bonus point. I think I want to give this like a 4.2.
How big? How expensive?
Oh, yes. This was 3.5 inches across and 1.5 inches tall, and $1.59. That's definitely on the cheaper side for donuts out here in Sacramento. I'd say it's, it's not an incredible price, but I've definitely had more expensive donuts. And yeah, $1.60 pretty much for a warm, fresh glazed donut. That's pretty great. So I'll say a 4.2 for this glazed donut.
Okay, we are off to a flying start because my glazed donut is phenomenal also. Today, I went to Master Donuts of St. Peter's. Here's the backstory. About 5 weeks ago, my sister-in-law and brother went to a donut joint in Washington, Missouri. And for those of you not familiar, it is about a 1 hour and 45-minute drive from where I am to Washington, Missouri. And they're like, these donuts are so incredible. You got to go do a donut show. I'm like, look, I am not yet at the point where I'm driving 3.5 hours to do a donut review. We're not there yet. And so I take people's great donuts with a bit of, I lack their enthusiasm until I say it's a great donut. Because people tell me about the Schnucks grocery store donuts sometimes, and I'm like, please, man, please.
Have a little higher standards.
Stop. So, had the conversation, I'm not making that drive. 3 days later, Facebook post, new donut place opening about 15 minutes away, Master Donuts. The sister and brother didn't move. They opened a second location. So 3 days after being told about Master Donuts, I purposely did not go right away for any of our shows because you're just getting started. It would be so unfair to do a review when you have not yet found your vibe. So they've been open 5 or 6 weeks. I think that's time to find their vibe. Kind of interestingly for me and for our fans, maybe you, this is our second set of brothers and sisters that own donut shops here. We did Drew's Donut Stop in Arnold, Missouri, and his sister opened Ruby Donuts in South County, in St. Louis County. And so this is our second set of brothers and sisters with donut shops. I love it. Whatever it takes, man. Mom and pop, dad and sister, whatever it takes. That's great. So walked in and immediately had to temper my enthusiasm because this place is gorgeous. I am going to include, I never do this. I only do pictures of the outside and pictures of the donuts that we eat. I am including this time a picture of their friggin' gorgeous donuts. Man, I'm like, just on looks alone, it's a 5. But that's not fair. You got to eat the damn thing. So it's a very standard size glazed donut, 4 inches around, 1.5 inches tall. That's very standard. $18 for a dozen donuts, $1.50 a piece. And it didn't matter. They didn't have that, the specialty donuts means the box is, this one is $2.10. And flat rate, man, because I got cinnamon twists and I got filled donuts, and they're all $1.50. So, $1.50 for a glazed donut. It melts in your mouth. The glaze is excellent. When you close your eyes and say, what is the perfect glazed donut glaze? This is it. The dough by itself, when you bite the bottom, just the dough, it's a vanilla dough. The dough without the glaze is still great. It is fluffy. You bite it, it melts. That is what a glazed donut should be. If it was glazed on the bottom, it might be my second 5.0. Ooh. That's how good this donut is. This is a 4.7.
Damn!
This donut is so effing good. I'm trying not to be giddy about it, but Jesus Christ, man. Master Donuts. Your glazed donut is effing phenomenal. So, yeah. And the other part that I'm trying to temper is I don't want my brother and my sister-in-law to get a big head like, we know how to judge donuts. I'm like, damn it, they're right. It's a 4.7. So, wow, what a start. Great glazed donut. Eric.
Oh, yeah.
What is our second donut today?
So our second donut is a vanilla cake donut with chocolate icing. Mine for today from Donuts and Coffee. The same price as the glaze, $1.59. Good price for out here. This was 3 inches across by 1 inch tall. A little bit smaller, but that happens with cake donuts. Oh my god, that bark was so loud in my ears, and that scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, and here's what's interesting is she is in the basement.
That's insane. You need to start doing shows that are not in a zoo, I think.
Not in a zoo.
Back to the donuts.
Yeah.
I think the star of this donut is absolutely the chocolate icing. This, honestly, after the first bite, this might be the best chocolate icing I've had on a donut here in Sacramento. Like, such a perfect, strong chocolate fudge flavor. I think the flavor of this, I think, is the best I've had ever. And the texture of it, I think, is so beautiful, put on the donut so well, and it's not super thick, and it's not too light. It meshes super well with the donut. Absolutely the star of this is the icing. The cake donut itself is a bit too crispy for me. The bottom parts were kind of crunchy, which I don't really love. I like a soft all the way throughout cake donut, so that wasn't something I particularly enjoyed. But I think the inside of the donut was really well. I would have liked a little bit more of a vanilla flavor to try to mix with the great chocolate icing. But it was definitely still there. It wasn't just like a plain regular cake with no flavor. So I think with the texture of the cake donut that I didn't love, but an absolutely like top tier chocolate icing, And for $1.59, I think I want to give this like a 3.9. I think this is an above average cake donut. The chocolate icing is incredible. The cake donut's pretty good. And for $1.59, like, it'll be hard to find, I think, something in this kind of realm for that price point. So I think 3.9, like a couple tweaks here and there, and you're very well on your way to being a 4 or higher.
This, as you're giving your review, it feels like you're sitting right next to me, because the points you're hitting about your donut are exactly what I want to talk about this cake donut. This chocolate icing, and they put a lot of chocolate icing on their cake donut, is excellent. It's that chocolate fudge icing. It's not chocolate sugar. It's not gritty. It's smooth. There's a lot of it, and it's fudgy chocolate icing, man. That is the way to go. They found the perfect icing. A cake donut for me is soft, and this one is crispy. The dough inside is flavorful, but because it's crispy on the top and the bottom, you're losing that soft dough. That's the difference between a cake donut and like an old-fashioned that's coming up, right? A cake donut is, picture a birthday cake. No one likes a crispy birthday cake. And that's what this is. I don't know if it's the temperature is fried too high or if it's fried too long, but the dough in the very middle that's not crispy is excellent. Excellent dough. If that was fried like a cake donut that we've had in the past before, this would be an outstanding score. I'm still going to give it a 3.7. It's $1.50 because that icing is excellent and the dough is excellent. I just think maybe back off the crispy part of it, because a cake donut to me should be a softer texture. But a 3.7, it's very solid. I could kind of tell, because it, even though it's 4 inches around, it's very standard. It's only 1.25 inches tall, and cake donuts usually go 1.5 inches, maybe a little bigger sometimes. And so immediately the size of it told me I'm not going to get that light fluffy cake throughout, and I didn't.
I think it's so, like, one of my favorite cake donuts just ever is just a cake donut with powdered sugar on it. I love a powdered sugar donut. And if that cake donut is crispy with a powdered sugar, like, that's, you get a bit of a pass if you just put icing on it, because it's a different texture. But
yes,
like a crispy powdered sugar donut, I think would be bad, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. And so, maybe they're still working out the techniques. Hey, 3.7, I'm not unhappy with that, but
yeah,
the possibility exists to turn that into a 4 or higher.
Absolutely. So our third donut, as you alluded to earlier, is a glazed old-fashioned donut. So this one for me was 3.5 inches across and 1 inch tall. Again, same price, $1.59. And this would be a old-fashioned that you would really enjoy. I don't love a crispy old-fashioned. I like when it's soft all the way throughout. And this just wasn't. Very crispy on the top. A really good flavor of this donut, I think. The glaze was excellent. A really good, I want to say it was almost like a sour cream flavor cake donut, which I know at Donut Palace we experimented with a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought those two flavors, a sweet glaze with kind of a tempered sweetness cake donut, I think works super, super well. So I really enjoyed the flavor of this. Not a whole lot of glaze on the bottom, which I think is an issue. And super crispy, which has its fans, especially as an old-fashioned. I think you get a little more leeway with the crispiness because of, that's just how the donut is with the crown and everything. Honestly, what's turned me off this donut the most is its size. This is a small donut. This is not... Usually, with old fashions, they're almost flour-like, how they kind of curl up. This did not do that at all. It was all just flat. It was like...
No crown?
So there was a crown. So it's like, instead of taking just like a regular donut and maybe curving it up as an old-fashioned would, it's like they took a regular donut, but then like dug crevices in to make the crown instead.
Oh.
I mean, obviously that's not what they did. Like, that's impossible. But like the size of this donut, usually it's those outside edges of the crown kind of curl up and they're higher than the center of the donut. But this one was just super flat. Yeah, the size of this thing, I think, is a detriment to it. But that being said, only $1.59, like, it's not crazy. That's a pretty good price. So I think you get what you pay for with this one. I think I want to give this like a 3.6. Definitely like not my favorite old fashioned, but I think what carries this one for me is the flavor of it. I think the flavor of this cake works really well with their glaze flavor. So I think the taste of this donut is the star. Where it kind of falls flat for me is its size and its texture.
Well, first, apologies to my brother and sister-in-law. They do know their donuts, because this old-fashioned is friggin' excellent. Talked about it in the past. Old-fashioned, kind of my secret Jones donut. It just, the crispy, the glazed, the soft cake, it's just really, in my opinion, an underrated donut, especially if it's done well, and this is just freaking done so well. Great glaze. Close your eyes, picture donut glaze. That's what this is. It's fried so well. It looks gorgeous. The dough by itself, I'm getting... I'll say vanilla, but my heart is telling me there's some lemon aspect to this dough. It is different than the cake. It is obviously different than the glazed yeast dough, but it's just excellent by itself, just eating the cake. It's 4 inches around. It's 1.25 inches tall. A really good size old-fashioned donut. Again, $1.50. And so the elements, and you're right, I like the crispier donut than you do for an old-fashioned. And this is right in my sweet spot. Now, when we say crispy, we don't mean burnt. We don't mean...
Yeah.
We don't mean hard. We just mean a little crunchy. Mm-hmm. A different style dough than is on the inside. And on the inside is that soft cake dough. It's fried. There's no grease aspect to this donut at all. They just did it so well. This is a 4.4 old-fashioned. One of the best old-fashions I've had.
Shit.
Man, I don't know if my brother Bob and his wife Vicky are going to be able to fit through the door, because they'll be like, we're gonna start our own donut review show, because we obviously know. You know what, man? Master Donuts of St. Peter's, 2 excellent donuts, and even your lowest score of 3.7 is a really good donut.
Yeah, 3.7 is still pretty good.
So, man, if you are anywhere near St. Peter's, Missouri, you got to stop at Master Donuts. And the place is gorgeous. And and I think I told you this before the show started. They also do strawberry dough old-fashioned and blueberry dough old-fashioned. I don't know that I've seen either one of those.
Yeah, I've never seen any of those. A strawberry old-fashioned sounds so fucking good.
And especially if your dough is excellent, now you're adding that, have you ever had this before, element to it?
Yeah.
Which is, for us, yeah, do the regular donuts, and that's what we're reviewing. But man, if you can do a tangent and still taste great,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, and you'll see on the pictures, their donuts are works of art. When you see some of the donuts in the pictures, they're the ones you're like, I can't eat it. It's too beautiful. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a donut, and you're going to scarf that damn thing down. But Jesus, it's beautiful. And what I really, really loved, not a proliferation of sprinkles. These are donuts for adults. I'm sure there were a few, but by and large, these are all donuts for adults. And apple fritters, gargantuan. I mean, I am going to go back to Master Donuts, not as part of the show, but as I want some really good donuts close to me. So
that's one of the better reviews you can get, just as a flat statement.
I'm not going because I have to. I'm going because I wanna. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this pretty good day for donuts, I think, on the old Midwest Donut Review Show.
Absolutely.
All right, it is time for us to close our show by exposing Eric's brain cells. It is trivia time, everybody. Ba 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 ba.
Or lack thereof.
Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. shot a promo for the 2016 Captain America Civil War called The Last Donut.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen screams when she realizes there's going to be a fight. Mm-hmm. What were the toppings on Captain America's donut that Iron Man ate?
They were red, white, and blue sprinkles.
Yes! Yes, they were.
Captain America, he needs the red, white, and blue sprinkle donut.
Yes. I had never seen it until the last week. So
really? I can't remember where I saw it, but it was very funny.
Yeah. And they had a great time,
Olsen's
and they showed the outtakes.
And that is
yes.
So overdramatic.
Okay. In what 1986 film did Jeff Goldblum vomit acid on a donut and then suck it back up?
That's The Fly, baby. David Cronenberg. That movie was great. I didn't particularly love that part, if I'm being honest. But
and he said, do you remember his line? Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
He knew. Yeah. Finally.
But here's a question for you. If that was the only way you could eat donuts, would you still do it?
No. The experience of the donut is part of it for me. It's such a big part. The look of it, the smell of it, the texture, the different.
There's no going halfway though either, because it's a 2-part process, and once you do that first part, man, once you vomit on it, you're like, well, now what are my options?
I can't.
can either have a donut that's vomited on, or I eat the donut that's vomited on.
I am not a bodily fluids dude.
No, you are not.
So, no, man. If that was the only way, I'm done.
More donuts.
Yep, none.
Well, now we're on your worst fear.
Nope, you don't.
Getting the flied.
Can you go 3 for 3? That is the question America is asking. What 2018 film featured Bradley Cooper rubbing a donut in his co-star's face?
I'm gonna guess Burnt.
No.
Fuck. Hangover?
No. 2018.
I don't know. Those are my 2 guesses.
Okay. He did it to Lady Gaga.
Oh. That's weird. Star is Born?
A Star is Born, yes.
The fuck?
Yeah, they got in an argument, and that's how he tried to shut her down. So, anyway.
Damn it.
All right, 2 for 3. 2 for 3. We'll take it.
Burnt is a good guess. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely food. I don't know that there was anything made, any food made, cooked, organized in that whole movie that wasn't unbelievably frou-frou.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know where they would have just gotten like a regular ass donut.
I mean, even in that flick a couple of years ago when Ralph Fiennes was the chef, and they went to the menu, yes, and they went to the island, and even in that, all of the dishes were unbelievably frou-frou until the end when he said, "What can I make you?" And she said, "A cheeseburger."
And that still looked like a really fucking good cheeseburger.
Oh yeah. But cheeseburger and fries. So and I'll have to go back and watch it again. But there was no cheeseburger being made in Burnt.
No,
that stuff was. They were using an eye droplet to make that food gorgeous. So
yeah.
You know what? Maybe they're using eye droplets at Master Donuts.
Never know.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been episode 34 of the Midwest Donut Review Show. Dave in the St. Louis area. Eric in Sacramento. Can people join in this frivolity in some fashion?
Yes, they can. If you're watching on YouTube right now, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, that gets us in the YouTube algorithm, and commenting on the video is the best way to interact. Commenting where you've been, what donut shops you like, you don't like, that kind of stuff. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, rating and reviewing the show is another good way to do it. And in that review, same thing, you would maybe leave in a comment. We see it all, and it all is good stuff for us and for the show as a whole.
You know, what would be interesting is, especially in your Donut News of the Week segment, there have to be smaller pieces of information floating out there that donut shops are doing that we're just not hearing about because it's so localized. It doesn't get a big play up in a national news sort of way. So if you hear about anything going on locally with a donut shop, like they're just like this donut shop is a brick and mortar place, but on the third Saturday of every month they show up at this farmer's market in this town. Let us know about that. We want to find the things that are a little different also. Of course, we're going to mom and pop brick and mortar. That's what we do. But we want to know about the smaller stuff too and give props to the places that are trying things outside the box, basically. Outside the donut box.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I said it. I'll live with it. All right. That has been episode 34. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. I'm Dave. That's Eric. We'll talk to you very, very soon.
Goodbye.
I forgot the one thing I wanted to talk about was my hair. That I was on a haircut strike until we did another full show.